we're gonna just tune in and then we'll do some breath work. So on the eve before equinox, as we're feeling this shift, kind of feeling the energy that's coming, feeling the energy that's waning, just kind of allowing yourself to be in these shifting sands in a sense. Because that shifting feeling was really a big part of Libra that we'll start to notice is that the winds of change, right? As we start to feel a new season, as we start to feel what continues to change within our lives, within ourselves, within our community, our world. And that's the gift of the practice, right? To have that ability to remain steady within ourselves, right? Steady within our awareness, steady within what we choose to focus on, what we choose to create, how we choose to respond, right? That's our steadiness, because it keeps changing, the sands. And so I like to just imagine as I'm breathing, that I'm breathing and remembering that steadiness. So really allowing yourself to drop into that deep, rich part of yourself that's deep within you, right? It's unchanged by job title changes, jobs coming and going, COVID being here or not, right? All is that part of you that's so rich, so deep, so wise, so true. And so finding whatever way you can connect to that, whether it's just the awareness that's aware, whether you can sense the vastness, the steadiness of it. Take a moment to connect and begin breathing. And the more we find our steadiness, the more there is space around us to let more in, right? That we don't have to feel the need to control so much of it or push away or hold tight, right? We realize that there's room for it. So find whatever you want to practice for today, your intention. Taking a moment to name that, to let this movement, again, be meaningful, something that you are focusing on or creating. Breathe that intention into your body, feel it. Breathe it out. Then taking your right hand and again, forming those spot hands that can either be placed index and middle finger at the third eye, where your thumb and ring finger pinky plug and unplug, or you can pinch. So if you want to fold those fingers back and pinch, you can do that, whatever feels good for you. So switch the crossing of your legs to give your body a change again, and we're going to plug the right side, breathe in through the left. Plug left, breathe out right. In right. Out left. In left. Out right. In right. Out left. In left. Out right. Balancing it out, smoothing it out. In right. Out left. So going at your own pace, you need to go slower or quicker. In left. Out right. In right. Out left. In left. Out right. In right. Out left. And then just let your hands go and just feel and sense your body. And then when you're ready, we're gonna climb into child's pose. And I didn't say to spray or stay, so if you wanna do that before you climb in, do that. And we'll climb into child's pose. It can be knees wide, knees together. It could be toes tucked. Top of the foot flat, you decide. Then take some deep breaths here and letting your forehead soften, the hips soften. I want to start to bring in a couple of those themes that will be really present for us in Libra. And that's this theme of the polarity, right? Of the paradox of opposites, in which we are trying to hold that space for both to be there and to continue to search for the edges around where we feel that pull to yank to one side or to feel separate or isolated, and where we can open our hearts towards that compromise, right? That doesn't cost too much, that allows us to grow. And so one of the ways yoga works with that is through steadiness and the easefulness, right? The sthira sukha. And so I want you to keep playing today with what's steady and what's soft and easeful. And can you hold both at the same time? On the next inhale, I want you to come forward towards like a modified upward dog. So I'm going to keep my knees down and kind of just let my hips hang. And then I'm going to come back, child's pose. And I'm going to keep doing that, coming back and forth. So you can be fast or slow. You can have toes tucked or untucked. And as you're strong and steady in your shoulders, maybe it's the hips that get to find some ease. So again, just always looking for how both are always there in different amounts. They don't necessarily have to be equal parts, right? Sometimes just a little bit of steadiness can balance out a lot of easefulness. So just allowing them to be present. Okay, we have two more. And then maybe it's a holding an upward dog for an extra moment. Just again, let the hips kind of turn side to side, feeling that lift of the heart space out of the hips so that you don't feel any lumbar discomfort. And then coming back up to all fours, downward facing dog, just to level it out. You might bend the knees to feel the lumbar stretch. Couple more breaths here. And then go ahead and set the knees down, and we're going to find some hip circles. So we'll bring the hips to the right, then we'll rock the hips back, hips to the left, and then come forward. So it's similar to what we just did, but now we're adding the side work to it. So you might even find two of the same shapes, but now kind of coming into that side approach. And it might look nothing like it. You might just keep your hands over your shoulders. So big circles on your knees can be as wide as they want. Yeah, so you kind of play it. And your circles can be as big or as small. Nice. Go both directions. So if you've gone counterclockwise, go clockwise. Yeah, good. And then once again, come to all fours. This time tuck your toes under, and then come one leg to plank, two legs to plank, and hold here for your steadiness. Tailbone lengthening, so you're feeling a broadening and a reach from the core through the heart. See if you can really stretch those hands out, dissipating the energy from the base of the palm. Letting the heels stretch back, the thigh bones lift a bit, so dissipating energy at the front of the hip. One more deep breath. And then one knee down, second knee down, right leg out to the side. So I've got my knee and the center seam of my foot. We'll cat-cow here. So arching the spine, feeling the mobility of the hips and the shoulders. So a lot of fluid movement. So what's steady within that fluidity? Is it your core? Is it your focus? Is it your breath? And it can always change. So keep maybe vacillating between a different steadiness that you notice. Okay, we're going to plant the right arm down. Feel strength and length as you twist to the left. So I'm pressing from right shoulder into right palm. I'm lifting through my left waist. Thread the left arm through, and if your head can't rest on the block or the floor, just let it actively reach to your fingertips. So you can let your head go. You can really reach from the left scapula out to the left fingertips, feeling like the energy reaching your fingertips. So can you actually feel active energy at your fingertips? Reach that strongly and put your awareness there. And then both hands come down to the floor, tuck your left toes under and sit back. If you want to pop your right toes up, you can, or you can seal the right foot flat. So kind of whatever feels good for that right inner thigh. Come to the center, and you're going to bring the right knee to your outer arm, shoot it back, and then bring that right arm to the left elbow, shoot it back. Keep going. Exhale, inhale, exhale, cross, inhale. My shoulders stay pretty steady. Exhale, inhale, cross, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Let's do one more. Tuck your left toes under, three limb down dog. Right leg is lifted, bend the right knee, turn the right thigh out. Keep tacking the outer left hip back as you reach to that right thigh and let the ankle feel heavy. Keeping the shoulders steady, keeping that left outer hip nice and steady. Is there ease in that right hip that you can connect to? Take a deep breath in and take a deep breath out. Step your right leg wide outside your right hand and go ahead and drop right away to that left knee. Curl all 5 right toes back and roll to the outer seam of your right foot. So I have toes curling back actively. I'm on the outer seam, and I'm letting my hips come forward in my chest. So you can come to your forearms, you can totally do that, or you can just stay right here. Kind of feeling that outer hip stretch on the right, groin stretch. Take another deep breath. And then go ahead and flatten that right foot. You're going to stay wide. I'm going to grab 2 blocks for me. Now you can use your hands if you'd like, or to the floor. Tuck your left toes under and straighten your left leg. And I'm folding forward in a wider hamstring stretch. So once again, right leg is wider than it would be if I was in high lunge. I'm going to drape forward, or I'm going to come up to my hands with a long spine. Whatever one would feel good. Kind of reaching from the right pubic bone through my right foot. Take another deep breath or 2. And then I'm going to re-bend that right knee, place my knee down, move the blocks if I have them, downward facing dog. Now just to generate some heat and to work on, since our last day to work on those focus shapes, our vinyasa. We're going to do this for a little bit of time. So it's not necessarily 3, but we're going to do it for a moment. So you can take it to Cobra, you can modify it, but we're going to keep going. So I want you to have some bit of fluidity to this. So inhaling to plank, I'm going to use my knees down, chaturanga to your belly. Cobra or upward dog, downward facing dog or child's pose. And you're going to go right through again. So I might stay on my knees and just kind of go back through child's pose, but I'm just going to keep going just to kind of move some energy through your body more quickly. So building some heat. So you're going to go as slow or as fast as you want. Modified on knees or coming through downward facing dog. And really use your breath. And since we're not holding shapes, can the steadiness be your focus to stay really aware of your breath and your body, so that because you know what's happening, you don't think of something else or lose yourself in the movement. Stay steady and aware. So maybe like we'll do a couple more. Maybe this is your last one, and you'll hold down dog or child's pose, whatever one is helpful for you. Breathe and just kind of catch your breath. So feel the quickening of your heart rate, maybe the heat moving through your body, and just again, connect in, feel it, sense it. And coming to all fours. We're gonna shoot that left foot out. So I have knee to the arch of the foot, cat-cow. Trying to really move through my upper back and my hips at the same time. And I'm gonna plant the left hand down. I'm gonna get lifted and strong through my core, twist to the right. So feeling the lift of the right lung, the right waist, the strength of my left shoulder. Thread your right arm underneath your left. And for me, I can't get my head quite to the floor, so I can just do a neck hang and actively reach through my right shoulder. And again, can you feel the prana come all the way out to your palm? So visualize kind of reaching, activating, connecting your energy so that back of the heart energy gets to the hands. And then both hands down to the floor, tuck right toes under, sink on back. So maybe you have your toes up, maybe you have your foot down, you can kind of feel that out. You can even play with like the positioning of your pelvis to get a deeper stretch. Come back out, and this is that core work. Left knee to the left arm. Take it back, spinal balance, take it across, spinal balance. And so keep going. Exhale to the side, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Keep going. And then the last one is a 3-limb down dog. So the left leg comes up and back. Then the knee, rotate the hip. Right hip peels back. Stretch and reach. Left leg wide outside your hands. Drop to the right knee. Curl all 5 of your left toes back. Roll to the outer edge of your left foot. So yeah, I'm on palms or blocks if you need them. You can also come down to your forearms, but keep those left toes active. So they're curling back and that left thigh is heavy towards the floor. Nice deep breaths, settle in. And then foot flat. I'm gonna rock back. So you could stay on your knees if you would want. Hands on blocks, or I'm gonna tuck my right toes under and lift up. And again, I'm wide. So my left foot is wider than a high lunge. And I can be up on my palm prints and long spine, or I can drape down for this first one. Rebend the left knee. Downward facing dog. So one more time, that vinyasa flow where you just build heat. So it's not about going really fast, it's just creating a rhythm which generates heat in your body. So when you're ready, knees down or knees lifted. It's not about fatiguing yourself, but feeling that heat moving through your body. So we're playing a little bit with pace, playing a little bit with, again, moving fast and slow requires a change in how you're remaining steady. Some of us like moving fast and some of us don't. So it's like even feeling your preferences and within that. Yeah, good practicing, good chaturangas, you guys. And if your knees are down, shoulders back, elbows in, core's always strong. So maybe like 10 more seconds. And then we'll go downward facing dog. And so we're going to add a little bit of fluidity to our flow that we've been doing, and we're going to change it up a little bit. So as you are ready, coming back into downward facing dog, so finish your last little flow and catch your breath. Feel that heat. Okay, you're going to take that right leg up and back. Step it forward between your hands. Drop to the left knee, curl all 5 toes back, externally rotate. So you've been here. So now I'm going to either have blocks if I want them, or we're going to vacillate between those two shapes. So I'm in the lunge that I was in, and then I come straight back in. So I'm coming down, and I'm coming up. So I can stay on my knee. And maybe I'm doing this like a cat-cow pace. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So you can go nice and slow. We're going to be our last one, holding here. I'm going to take my blocks up a little higher so I can lengthen my spine, and I'm going to twist to the left. That's the right, isn't it? So I'm using blocks. If you need to bend the left knee a bit or the front leg, go ahead. Lifting and opening. Strong through those shoulders. Go ahead and seal the front toes down, the back heel flat, windmill warrior 2. So you'll have the right leg forward. Yeah. Sink on in, breathe. Find the strength of your legs. We're doing a lot of mobility in the hips, so now finding a little bit of strength here. So dropping it a little bit deeper if you can. One more breath. Cartwheel the hands down to the floor. Downward facing dog. Come forward to plank pose. Chaturanga to your belly. We're going to do locust pose to hold. So take those arms back, lift the chest, lift the legs. And we're going to hold here for about 10 breaths to build the heat this way. So bring the inner seams of your thighs up, widening through the hamstrings, releasing the shoulders down your back, keeping your neck long. Couple more breaths. And then take your hands down, tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. Now go ahead and widen your feet so that you're more in a straddle dog. Bend those knees, look forward, hop into a squat. So it's like Malasana, or it can be a higher version of Malasana. So I can go pretty high if my knees are tender, or I can go low. So kind of feel yourself get heavy, as heavy, heavy, heavy as you can. Then I want you to gradually start to lift from the pelvic floor up to your heart, and can you get a little bit lighter, and maybe even more lighter as you lift to the crown of the head. Playing with heaviness and lightness. Take a deep breath in, and then press into your feet, straighten your legs, and come up. Come right back down. Maybe it's a little deeper. You have 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. This time, inhale, stretch, and then parallel your big toes. Exhale, the hands come to the heart. And you're standing up for the very first time. So feel that out. All right, we're going to take the right knee up. Arms are going to reach up, and I let my knee come towards my chest. Exhale, figure 4. Sink on back. So a couple options here. I can just stay at hands at heart. I can kind of press my hips back. I could release my hands to blocks, or even forward fold. So options here. We're going to be here a little bit longer. Okay, slowly bringing your hands back to your hips. Taking that right knee up, and then taking it out back behind me. So I'm on the outer edge of my right foot. So I'm gonna pull the left hip back, so I kind of scissor the inner thighs together, and I can, again, come to blocks, I can fold, or I can balance. I'm on the outer edge of my right foot, and I can go way far away to make it really challenging. I can hover, or I can set it down. Bring your hands to your heart. Can you use your toes to trace a circle to go out to the side, and then pull it on back? Bring your left knee up, take the arms up, ankle over thigh, sit on back. Pause. Kind of study where you are and decide if I want to add hips or fold forward, kind of whatever would work. Whatever feels good. And again, bring that breath in really deep. Always you can get close to a wall if you'd like. Okay, so unhook and then take the left leg as far behind you. So I did that in the air. Then I set the outer edge of my left foot down and I bring my hands to the blocks or to the floor or to my heart. So I am intoning the inner thigh. So there's a little bit of eagle-like legs and I'm reaching that right hip back. And then bring the hands to meet at your heart. This is hip strengthening. Come to the toes, point. Bring that foot all the way around and back in. Straighten the legs. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, long spine. Step back to down dog. Left leg is forward. When you're ready, step it wide. Come to the knee. Fold all 5 left toes back. Externally rotate. So this is, again, back to that flow. So we go from this lunge to that hamstring stretch. Lunge, hamstring stretch. External neutralization. Last time, go ahead and hold. If you want your blocks on a higher setting, go ahead. Right arm plants, left arm lifts. I'm pulling left hip back, twisting. You can have your foot flat or you can pop the toes back, just a different variation. And then hands to the floor, seal your back heel flat. Might have to adjust. Warrior 2, the left leg is forward. So I'm just going to settle in. And it's a simple pose, nothing, no bells and whistles, but maybe I'm going a little deeper. Maybe I'm feeling more of the strength of my legs. Maybe there's some ease in my shoulders that I can find. All within the same shape at the same time. Couple more breaths. Feel that heart energy reach all the way to the fingers again. Cartwheel the hands down to the floor. Downward facing dog. Plank pose. To your knees if you want, chaturanga to your belly. Come back to locust pose, and then this time bind the arms if that's accessible, or just reach the palms together. So shoulders still down, away from my ears. Now bend the knees. You're not going to grab onto the ankles, but reach to the toes. So I'm using the glutes and the hamstrings to lift. Shoulders lifting for 3, 2, and then extend, hands down. If you want to keep the knees down, that modified upward dog we started with. Downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Widen your feet, bend those knees, look forward, hop into your squat, whatever squat of choice that you'd like. Get heavy, almost like you don't feel any core work. And then start to allow that lifting of the arches, the lifting of the pelvic floor, the lifting of the heart, the crown. Can you get a little lighter? So light that you can straighten the arms and legs, come up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Gonna add a little bit more flow to this, okay? So the right knee comes up, ankle over thigh, sink back, extra beat, and then the right leg comes out to the side. And then I skirt it around. Then I'm going to hinge back, and I'm going to twist to the left. So either hand down, hand up, or prayer twist. 4, 3, 4, 2. Coming back, hands to the heart. Bringing that leg all the way to the side. Hug it in. Straighten the legs. Inhale. Exhale, sit back, chair pose. Left knee is going to come up. Ankle over thigh, sit back. Take that left foot out to the side. Draw a semicircle back behind you. Hinge at your hips, sit low. Twist to the left. So either hand down, arm up, or prayer twist. Come back to your heart. Semicircle the leg back to the side. Bring it in. Arms reach up, stretch. Exhale, forward fold. Long spine, inhale. Step it on back, downward facing dog. So adding on to our flow, right leg is going to reach up, step it wide outside your hands. 3 times, knee down, externally rotate, coming into that lunge. 2 more times. Last time. Then coming into that triangle, that revolved triangle, either on blocks or off. For 3, for 2, warrior 2, right heel, or left heel down and turn, warrior 2. We're gonna go left arm on top of right, eagle arms. Turn towards your front thigh, just angle your torso, lean slightly forward without releasing your pelvis, so the belly is still strong. Just get a left shoulder stretch, let your neck go, for 3. Now keep your gaze on a drishti, that's a point of focus. Stay strong in your legs, and you're gonna wrap that left leg around your right, find eagle legs, and then turn to the left and descend, twisted eagle. So maybe my left toes find the earth, I press elbow to thigh, and I curl in like I'm doing a crunch. For 3, for 2, we're going to unfurl, and we're going to step it out wide to a wide angle forward fold. So I'm going to release my arms and come up. Exhale, forward fold. So this next shape is a little tricky, and you may or may not be able to get it or feel good. So I'm going to give you 2 options. Now you can go wider or more narrow. Pull all 10 of your toes up, and then pivot. So I get to the outer edges of my feet. Very similar to the shape we did after Utkatasana. So you're going to come here and stretch. If that does not work, no worries. You can either go wider for a straddle stretch, or you can come towards Skandasana, right? And just get an inner thigh stretch. So you choose. It's a very awkward and weird pose. So on the heels, toes up, you turn as far as you can, rolling to the outer edges of your feet. Now some people have more luck if their legs are very close. Some people more luck with their legs wide. All right, now reverse it, go the other side. It's so weird, I know. And I can say this because it's an all-girl yoga class. I've heard the pose called ball crusher. And I'm thinking, like, wow, we couldn't come up with anything better, but it must be. We wouldn't know, would we? Okay, come all the way back out. So now you're in your wide leg forward fold. Turn towards your right leg, come to warrior 2 legs, and then come into triangle pose. So do a little bit of back arch here. So bring your pubic bone forward, open through your left chest. You can still look down. Give a little bit of back arch here. Couple more breaths. And then hands down to the floor. You got a low lunge. So when you're ready, put that left knee down, reach your arms up, stretch. And on the exhale, hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Come forward, plank pose. Nice and slow to your belly, chaturanga. Bind your arms, lift your toes, come right into that second shape we did, where I'm trying to lift the thighs towards the sky. I'm trying to lift the chest. Keeping inner thighs joined together, they will move apart naturally as your hips might feel limited. Straighten your legs, take your arms down. Maybe it's the modified upward dog, maybe it's cobra. Downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. We'll go left side, left leg reaches up and back. Step it wide outside your left hand. 3 times. We go to that pose where we go externally rotated, forward fold. Externally rotated, forward fold. 3rd time's the charm. Stay here, we twist to the left. And then the hands come down, warrior 2, left leg is the base. I'm just turning so that I'm not facing away from you. Right arm over left. A little turn towards your front thigh and a slight bow of the upper back. Just trying to align a little bit of a upper back stretch into the shape. There's that easefulness within the steady. And then find the drishti. Feel free to drag the feet or step, but you're going to go eagle legs, right leg over left. Then we turn to the right and we bow for twisted eagle. So you got to really find the core work, upper back balloons, tailbone long, so the core is definitely steady, the core is definitely active. Maybe it's your neck, your jaw, something. And then we're going to slowly unfurl. The right leg steps all the way out wide, the arms reach up. And then we exhale all the way down to the floor. So we're not going to repeat that last shape where we went up on the toes, but we will go into 2 rounds of Skandasana. So go to the first side, and again, you can stay high, feet down, or you can go low. And you can even come to a seat and allow yourself to kind of sit down and get a nice little deep groin stretch. You can even put your foot flat if you prefer to come here. Totally, you can do that if Skandasana is not your pose, okay? Okay, let's go to the other side, nice and slow. So if you're on your back or you're on your seat, sorry, just transition nice and slow. Second side, you don't have to come up yet. And then slowly coming back to that wide leg fold. I'm going to turn towards your Trikonasana triangle legs. So as you're ready, coming on in. And then a little bit of back arch. When you open the chest and reach that right shoulder back, keep the core strong so the back arch can happen with a stable base. Maybe you look down or relax your head. And then hands down, it's low lunge, so right knee down, lift up. And on the exhale, hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Plank pose. All the way to your belly. It might be bow pose where you do reach back and grab your ankles, or you might repeat, or maybe it's locust pose and you want to straighten your legs. It can be one leg bow. Some variation of a back bend. Yeah, neck long, you guys. Awesome. Okay, straighten your legs. That upward dog or cobra is next, just for a beat or two, and then downward facing dog. Widen your feet outside your hands. So you're a little bit of a squat dog. Look forward, hop into that squat. And then as you're ready, standing all the way up to straight legs, arms reach up, and then exhale, hands to the heart. So as I'm going through that whole squat level sequence, we're going to do is balance shape on each leg, and then we'll do it in between sides. So right leg is your first leg. Similar to what we've been doing, we take the knee up, we externally rotate it, but this time grab the outer edge of the ankle, the shin, the foot, and lift it up. So you do a half diamond. So I can grab onto the foot, but it's not here. We open the knee joint. And it's a pretty big hip stretch. Maybe the arm goes out to the side. You can grab a strap. But you'll notice my foot is flexed. And I have the inner seam of my leg pointing up, similar to that same lunge we did. Exact same pose, just now transposed. Okay, take another deep breath. And then go ahead and place that foot down so that you're back towards that lunge. Inhale, the arms come up. Squat down. Hands down, left leg back. Left knee down. Now turn your right toes out. Turn your left arm out. Arms reach up and forward. Arms reach straight up. And then take it all the way back to either bind against your foot or to just reach back. And you might just bend the knee and not touch it. So if you have your thumb up, you'll grab outer foot. If your thumb is down, inner foot. Chest is open. Hips are relaxed. That right leg is stable and strong. Okay, both hands down to the floor, step back, child's pose. And this is where you'll find some deep breathing and just kind of relax for a moment. Come forward, tuck your toes. This is a different type of squat dog. We're in like a child's pose hover. Just for 3, 2, and then straighten your legs. You're going to really narrow child's or down dog, walk your feet out. Last time, bend the knees, look forward. Malasana. Just standing all the way up. And then back into your balance pose. So the left leg is my base. Right knee comes up. Externally rotate it. And again, I can just hold on to the outer knee, the outer shin. I can grab the outer edge of the foot. I have an open knee joint. So it's not here, it's wide. It's like an open angle. I'm trying to get the inner seam of my leg to face the sky. It's really weird. Yeah, you guys look great. You can balance your arm up or out. Do that for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then bring it on in. Nice. Arms reach up. You're back in your squat. Exhale down. Hands down, right leg down, knee down. I turn my right arm out. Lift your left arm, reach it forward to the sky and back. So you might just be scanning the horizon, doing like a little neck release and chest stretch, or reach on back, grab that foot. And then release the hands down. And you go back to child's pose, just like you started. Any version. Feel that heat moving through your body. Feel the strength that you've cultivated in your hips as well as the mobility. You've done both. Okay. Final vinyasa if you want it, or cat-cow. Just go through one final flow. If you want it, or a way to kind of recycle your energy. Awesome. And then here is our final chance to work on your focus pose before we shift focus. So no matter what you've been working on, your balance pose, your core work, right? Anything that you want to do for your last little bit of time. So we've done a lot of different ways to work the core, so you can work any of those. It could even be crow pose. You could do crow abs. Last week or Saturday, I think we did those crossing legs, so similar to the lunge we did, so you could work that again. We've done knees with such. We've done, I always like these, the C crunches, knees in, we curl like a ball, and then we tap the toes, long spine. So you got that for crow work, for ab work, and then of course you got your vinyasa, your squat. All right, you gang. Okay, so I want to hear that after, but I'll let you guys calm it down a little bit. So let's do a little final little twist. So you can sit on a block if you want. Otherwise, let's step the right leg over the left. If you want to curl the left foot back as well, we'll do that. So right arm is your second spine, left arm lifts, and then you can either grab onto the thigh with a little bit of resistance with the knee, pulling in with the arm, or catch the outer edge. And so see if you can pull the belly back a bit, sit up nice and tall and churn and twist. Any gaze, any head position. And then we're going to twist, same leg position. You just kind of reach to the left and just allow yourself to press away from your right thigh. Just a little counter twist. And then slowly coming up and sending the legs forward just to neutralize. So just taking a moment to sit up tall, shoulders on your back, active feet. We'll take the arms up, stretch, And then we'll fold forward however you can. If you need to keep your arms back, please do that. If you need to bend the knees, that's always a nice modification too. And then as you're ready, we'll sit back up. And then we'll go left leg over the right. Right leg can curl back for a second leg position. Right arm up, twist. Nice deep breath to kind of wring out any last little bit of tension along the spine. Kind of finish our digestive work. Libra rolls the low back, the glutes, rolls the kidneys. And then we'll do a counter twist. Lean to the right, press the left thigh away. Then we'll take both legs forward, Dandasana. And then this time arms come up, and then we'll roll down nice and slow. Taking the arms up and back, big stretch. And then releasing the hands down, bend the knees, and you can come to a final bridge or whatever inversion you'd like, whether that be headstand or if you want to just dive right into Shavasana, you can certainly, but maybe one more neutralizing shape. Could have a block as well. So any inversion that you want to do for a moment or two, just to let your body settle, let the nervous system start to calm. And then my friends, you can stay as long as you feel you want to be in your inversion, but when you're ready to come down, allowing yourself to relax into whatever form of Shavasana will feel delightful today. We'll do a little bit of breath work before we just totally relax. So taking a moment to imagine the breath being centered right at your third eye for a moment. So breathing into your third eye. Breathing out of your third eye. So almost like you'll go right through the third eye center, back of the head, and breathing out. And then bringing the breath kind of more to the center of the brain, kind of where the crown of the head would be, and then that really center point of the brain, breathing in and out there. Excuse me. Taking a moment to just pause and just let the breath be natural, no direction of breath, just noticing your brain, your mind. And then feeling and sensing your heart and begin breathing in and out of your heart. So maybe imagine breathing in through one side, maybe all at the same time. Maybe it's the space around your heart. Kind of visualizing the heart space moving like your diaphragm moves up and down. And then let that go and just feel and sense the heart space. And can you feel the connection of the heart and the mind through the center channel? And maybe for a couple breaths, you can imagine breathing through both spaces in and both spaces out. And then just letting that go and letting that, whatever amount of integration could happen with those two centers, just kind of letting them be as you rest for a moment or two. So friends, always, if you'd like to take more time in Shavasana to just really integrate the practice, I highly always recommend that, to really take the time to let your movement and your awareness continue to commingle. Otherwise, start to move to a seat, letting your hands bow to your heart. So the practice that I recommended this week was that in Lakesh, that you are another me, I am you. And as much as we can, peer at those in our lives, family, friends, strangers, through that kind of mantra, through that recognition, looking for more ways that we're alike than more ways that we're different. Writing those lines between where the paradox exists for us to expand, to be bigger, to hold more space, to open our perspective, so that we are building bridges, not fences, with how we speak, with how we interact, with how we create the powerful change that we desire for our lives, for our country, for our world. So breathing into that knowing and that recognition of the ways in which we are one and connected is vastly different as we respond and act in life, right, at times. Breathing in for an Om. Om. The light in me honors the lights in you. Thank you for your practice today, friends. I really hope you